Hello everyone, and welcome to Criminal Intent. I'm your host, Deandra Cannoli, and I'm back from a rather unexpected hiatus I had to take. I won't get into it much, but I had to move and all sorts of things came up, and I apologize for having to make you wait. It was definitely not what I wanted. But I'm back, and I come bearing a gift, which is in the form of a teaser for the next episode. This will be a two-parter where we will examine a series of murders of young African-American girls that occurred in Washington, D.C. from 1971 to 1972. These murders are believed to have been the work of what could possibly have been the city's first serial killer, dubbed the Freeway Phantom. And now, here's a clip of Criminal Intent, the Freeway Phantom Murders, Part 1. On the evening of April 25th, 1971, Carol Denise Spinks, known as Bebe to the family, was at home with her siblings. Her mother, Alantine, left to visit an aunt across the border in Brentwood, Maryland. Alantine had a strict rule for the kids. If she had to leave the house for a while, no one was allowed to answer the door or to leave the apartment. And if she were to find out anyone had broken that rule, there was a punishment waiting for them. During the time Alantine was away, Carol's older sister Valerie was in the apartment across the hall. Valerie, who was 24 years old at the time, did not live in the apartment with her other siblings. Wanting some items from the nearby 7-Eleven, Valerie knocked on Alantine's door to try to get one of her siblings to go to the store for her. None of them wanted to go, knowing the prospect of a whipping was more than likely to happen if they were caught. Valerie became angry. She yelled and pounded on the door and continued to do so until Carol finally acquiesced, not wanting Valerie to continue to make a scene. She left the apartment with the $5 Valerie gave her and walked down to the 7-Eleven, about half a mile away from the apartment complex on Wheeler Road, just over the Maryland border in Prince George's County. The minutes started ticking by, and what should have been a quick trip was now nearing 30 minutes, and Carol had not returned home. The feeling of concern started to grow inside her older sister Evander's gut. She went across the hall to ask if Carol had returned. "She hasn't came back yet?" Valerie asked. With that response, Evander's concern deepened. She ran up to the 7-Eleven and asked the cashier about Carol. The cashier said that her sister had indeed come into the store and left with TV dinners, bread, and sodas in hand. When Evander arrived home, Carol still had not returned. A little while later, Alantine arrived back home and noticed that Carol was absent from the house. She immediately called the police. However, the response from the police was rather surprising and worrying. She was told that Carol had simply ran away from home. Alantine and Carol's siblings did not believe for a second that she would have ran away. Carol was a happy girl. She and her identical twin sister Carolyn were very close. Being small and rather shy, she was adored by her family. Both Evander and Carolyn expressed that she would have never ran away. It wasn't in her character to do so. Taking matters into her own hands, Alantine, along with family, friends, and neighbors, headed out to search for Carol, but they didn't find any sign of her. Alantine had seen her daughter earlier that day on her way to the store, and she had chastised Carol for leaving the apartment. Alantine told Carol that she would see her when she got home. Little did she know, this would be the last time she would ever speak or see her daughter again. Well, I hope you liked that clip. The next episode will be released on May 27th with part 2 coming soon thereafter. If you like what you hear or want to get updates on the podcast, Please feel free to follow Criminal Intent on Twitter at CRIM Intent Pod or Crim Intent Pod, and on Instagram at Criminal Intent Pod. I'll be working on updating that more often so that you can get some inside scoops as to how I put the show together, ideas that I'm coming up with, things like that. Also, I'm working on getting a website up within the next few months where you can find all episodes as well as news, show notes, and supplemental articles to the episodes. Thank you for listening, and I hope you tune in on May 27th for the next episode. See you then.